Hello everyone, I am Prashant Nandam. As we all know, we have started a Linux series. Linux most used commands we have started, and yesterday we have completed introduction to Linux and history, and today we'll be going to Linux file system and navigation. Just to see what we have learned yesterday is like we have learned introduction to Linux history and what is an operating system, example of operating system, popular Linux distributions, and then we have seen how to install Oracle VirtualBox on your local machine and how to set up a VM in your local machine and connecting it to a connecting it to via PuTTY. And we have also created an EC2 instance and we tried connecting it to it from your local machine via PuTTY. Hope you all have followed the steps and created a virtual machine and things. Today we will be covering Linux file system and navigations as well. In this session, we'll cover what is file system components, and hierarchical tree structure. And once it is done, we'll also see the most used commands in file system and navigations, which is print working directory and change directory, list directory contents, and some special directory symbols as well. Uh, Now we'll see what is file system. A file system is a method used by an operating system to organize, store, retrieve, and manage data on storage devices like hard drivers, SSDs, and USB drivers. I hope you all understood. File system is used by an operating system to store and retrieve data. Now we have file system components, which is files, directories, metadata, mount points, and innodes. What we'll do, we'll go one by one on this. First, we'll see what is files and how files is created. If you see here, I am in my mission, and to create a file, let's see what all we have. Okay, I'll go switch to Rocky. If you see here, yeah. Now what I'll do, I'll move to downloads. See where we are, CD home, then down. Okay, we are entering wrong path. Forgot we are in Rocky. Cool. I just forgot we are in Rocky user, so I was trying to get into home and downloads. What we did, we let's show it to you again. Yeah, if you see nothing in ls. To teach you again, first we are going to will verify where we are in this pwd is used to check the present working directory. We are under working directory home. Rocky is a user, and I want to go to downloads under this. Yeah, if you see, no files has created here. ls is used to list the files. If you see, no files has been created. Now as we see in here, files, we'll see, we all know what is file. It contains some data. Now let's see how to create a file in Linux. For that, we have a command which is touch and the file name. What I did, I have used touch command, and test.txt is my file name. Now if you see, we have test.txt. This is our file, and to list its contents we can do ls-l test.txt. It will show Rocky and when it is created and what it is file. This is a file. This is how a file is created. Okay, hope you got it. Now we we have seen what is file and how to create a file. Now we'll see what is directory and how to create a directory. Directory is nothing but it's like a folder which is in your Windows machine. Now if I do ls, we are seeing all these folders, desktop documents. These are called directories. And if you want to verify now, if I do ls-l, we are seeing with d, which means directories. And to make it very clear for you, what I'll do, I'll create a file again, sample.txt. Now I'll use the same command. If you see, it is not showing d. So these are the directories and these are the file. Similar way, now we came to know what is directory. Directory is a folder. We'll see how to create a directory. To create a directory, we need to use mkdir, make directory, and we need to give the name for the directory. I'll give session 2. Oh, I haven't put my password. Cool, let me give my password. Wonderful. Now if you see, session 2 will appear here. If you see session 2, this is the directory. And now what we have done, if you verify, we have created a directory which is session 2 by using mkdir. Now what we'll do, we'll go to the directory. Now we are in directory. If you see present working directory, we can see it shows session 2. Why? Because we are in the directory. We have used cd and then session 2. Now I'll create a file in this. I'll name it as pr.txt. I forgot I need to give sudo pr.txt. If you do ls, we can see pr.txt file is created. Now hope you all understood what is file, how file is created, what is directory, and how directory is created. Now we'll see metadata, information about file, which is size and all those things. We already have a file under this directory, under this file. Now what we'll do, we'll verify the metadata for this file. To get that, we need to use a command which is stat and then the file name. If you click enter, now what I did, stat and pr.txt file name. You can see file name, file size, blocks, and all those things. Who has access, I mean read write access, and everything can be seen here. Last modified and birth, everything. This is how metadata is verified. And last thing I want to show you is mount points. To check mount points, we have to do df-h. These are the mount points. If you see here, uh, these all are mounted in dev and run, root, boot. These are called as mounted and mount points. Hope you clear on this. Let's recap again. What is file? File, it contains some data, and how to create a file, touch and file name. File name. If I need to be in sudo, yeah, this is how we'll create a file. And how to create a directory, mkdir and test. If you click enter, yeah, now we have directory as well. This is how a file is created and a directory is created. And what we have done, yeah, you can verify directory metadata as well, just by giving stat and the directory name. This will give you the information when created and all those things. Cool. Hope you understood what is file, what is directory, what is metadata, and mount points. We'll discuss later in notes. Now what we'll do, we'll move on to hierarchy tree structure in Linux. A hierarchy file system is one where files are organized in a tree-like structure. All files are organized in a tree-like structure, and the root of the tree is the topmost directory called root. If you see here, uh, cd, yeah, now under we are in root. Under root we have all these things. We are in root folder now. Cool. Root, under root all the things are available, and branches and leaves of the tree represents a directory. Each directory might have subdirectories as well, as we seen in our previous comments. Now what I'll do, I'll show you the tree structure for our OS. Let me clear the screen first. I have cleared my screen. Now what we'll do, we'll see how uh, hierarchy is here. To do that, you need to have tree installed in your machine. To verify that, I'll enter tree and then why it's stuck. Okay, cool. I have mentioned you. I'll show you the hierarchy of the Linux folders and files. To do that, we need to have tree installed in our machine, and then which path we are checking, root path. Yeah, this is how it looks. We have 491 directories total, and if you see here, it explain. I'll explain you command first. I'll show you here itself. What we did, sudo is a root permissions it required. So we have tree command, and after that l. It will show only up to 2 level deeps, not more than that when we use 2. And D is for show only directories, not files. And we use sudo to avoid permission denied for some systems. Now if we go here, see, we have root. Under this all are have bin. We have under bin we have user bin, boot, dev, blog, all those directories we have. Now let's see each one. I'll just explain you an overview. Bin contains essential system binaries, okay, and boot is loader files, which is kernel and grub. Then what we have dev. Dev is device files. Then we'll be having etc. etc is system wide configuration files. All system wide configuration files are stored under etc. Then we have home. Home is user directories. Whenever you create a user, it will be highlighted in the home directory, and a space is given for that user. Now what we have done, under home we have created a Rocky user, that is why we are seeing Rocky. Next we have lib. Lib is essentially for shared libraries. Then we'll be having media. What media will do, it's auto mounted external devices, it will mount external devices. Then we have mnt, it is temporary mount points. Then we have process, which is virtual file system for processes. It shows all processors, data details, data, something like. And then we have where it is processor we done. Then root is nothing but home directory for the root user. And then we'll be having some SBIN, that is important. Yeah, SBIN. in SBIN we'll be having system administrative binaries. All system administrative binaries will be stored in SBIN. Later we have where it is system binaries. Then what I want to explain, users. Under users, it is a secondary hierarchy. User installed softwares can be seen here, and temp is temporary files. Then what else we have? Var. It is like variable data like logs and yeah, it is like variable data like logs. Let me explain you one more time on this. We have used a tree command to show a hierarchy, and we under root we have bin file. It is essential for binaries, and we have boot. It is a bootloader file, kernel and all those things. And then we have dev, which is device files. Then we have etc. It is a system wide configuration files. Will be having home is the whole directory, and under home directory we'll be having users. And then what we have, we done with home. Then I forgot lib. We have lib. It is essentially shared libraries. Then we have processors. We can see processor information over there, and root will be having home directory of root user. Root in its home directory of root user, and then we'll be having SBIN, which is system administrative binaries, and temp for temporary files, and then user for secondary hierarchy, and at last we'll be having var, which is variable data like logs. Now what I'll do, I'll show you each thing. I'll show you this thing. Which one we seen what is tree and all those things. Now we'll see this explanation of key directories, what is root, what is bin. I'll just switch to the directories and I'll show you what all it contains. That is enough for now. First we'll verify where we are. PWD is present working directory. We are under home and Rocky. Now I'll switch to root. Now it will show we are in root here. If you see here, root. Now we are in root. After root, what we have done, we seen another files, which is bin. We have bin. This is the bin, is for essential user binaries. It contains all binaries. Then we have boot. Boot. Let me switch to boot. Then we have boot, and these are the bootloader, and it is critical for system startup. Now I'll come back and I'll move to dev only, I believe. Yeah, dev. In dev, it had as discussed, dev contains device files. It is like everything is treated as a file in Linux, under device files. And under device files, then what we have, etc we discussed, correct? cd etc. Under etc we'll be having all configuration files, and these are the configurations files. Now what we'll do, we'll move to home. Under home we'll be having user data, and then what we have, shared libraries. We'll move to cd and what it is, lib yeah, it's lib. These are the libraries, and then mount is okay, that's not required for now. If you want, we can move to mount as well. If I okay, it's not having any data over there. Then we have user, yeah, these are the user programming libraries. And at last we have var. These are the variable files. Now you may ask me why user bin and sbin are so many times. It's like let me explain you. Bin and sbin are needed for minimal boot environment, and user bin and user sbin, user install software will be shown, and then we have lib and user lib. These are libraries, and then we have opt, which is optional third-party apps. That is what we have mentioned here. Cool. We seen tree hierarchy, file system, later directories. We also verified what it is as. We discussed about user bins. Yeah, this is important one. Absolute and relative path. If you see here, this is a foundational concept in Linux file system navigation, and it's critical for engineers to understand how to move through the directories confidently. And what is path in Linux? A path in Linux defines how to reach a file or a directory from certain location in the file system. As we see in here, now where we are under var. Now what if I do home? Now we are under home. This is the path switching from. Similar way, we have two paths. One is absolute path and other is relative path. Let me explain you this. If you see here, absolute path, if a path starts with a forward slash, it is an absolute path, and relative path is if it does not start with a slash, then it's a relative path. And an absolute path always starts from root directory, and it shows an complete path destination. If you see here, home, student, document, world.txt, this is the root, which is path, and this is the directories, and this is the file. Now if you see absolute path for this, no, oh, I didn't change, I mentioned it wrong. For this world.txt is home, student, and document. Even if we are in var or any other, this path will take us to, let me show you that as well, what we have mentioned. Let me remember. Home, yeah, we are on home. Let's create a student. uh, uh, Now we have home, we have student. Under student we have what is documents. Why we have documents. Now if you do, we have documents. Under documents, what we have? World.txt. World.txt. Let me go to root itself so that I can avoid entering password. See, we haven't moved to documents, huh? Now let's create sample.txt, which is under downloads. Now let me go to var first, and then yeah. Now if you see, I'm in var, and I'll move to cd var. Okay, now I'm under var, and to go to the absolute path, which as we mentioned, that is, before this, let me explain you this thing. It will be easy. I'll show you the path. Cd student, or cd under home we have student, under student we have documents. Yeah, if you see here, present working directory, what is home, student, documents. Now what I'll do, I'll go to var, I'll go to var. Now if you see, I'm under var. Now if I want to go to this student documents, I can directly go by entering its path, home, student documents, and once I click ls, I'll be getting the path. This is absolute path. Now we'll see relative path. That is absolute path. If you see relative path, it is like our current location. Now if you see, for an example, we are in home student and now you want to access document.txt. For that, what we did earlier, we use cd home students documents. Now I'll come back directly. Now if you see present working directory, under, now I am under home and then students. Now if I want to access this sample.txt, and if I do cd documents, yeah, cd documents and then sample IP. Yes, now we are in sample.txt. This is how we'll go to files in relative path. Absolute path is when we use this entire thing, and relative path is when we are in home student, we just moving one directory. This is relative path. This is the difference between absolute and relative path. Now we will see most used commands in day-to-day life. Cool. I'll go to where it will be easy. Now, to know in which directory you are and where you are currently, for that we need to enter pwd. Now I'm under root. In some, in if in case, if I am in home, if I do pwd, it should show home. And now I'll go to our file, home student doc. Yeah, now it should show us complete path, home student documents. Now if I go to documents, sorry, home student documents, if I do ls, it should show this thing. Yeah, if you see documents, now where I am in present working directory, home student documents, and this is how we'll verify our present working directory. And now where we are in documents. Now if I want to go to home, then I'll just use cd and tilt. It will take me to the home. Now if you do present working directory, I'll be in root home. Now what I'll do, I'll go to this path and I'll show you, let's come one file back, sorry. Yeah, cool. Now I'm in student. Now if I want to, better I'll go home, present working directory. Now I'm in home. Now if I want to come back, in the sense go one level up, then I'll do cd hyphen hyphen hyphen. Yeah, this is how I'll go up. And now if I want to go to previous location, then I'll use cd hyphen, and now again if I use cd hyphen, it will take me to the previous one. If I use cd, better we'll go to this student path. If I use cd dot dot, it will take me to the one level up, I mean previous one. Now one level up, the previous file it will take me. If you see, inside student we have documents. When I'm in documents, I have entered cd dot space dot dot, so it took me to student. Now what I'll do cd space dash, it should take me to the documents because it was my previous path. That's one thing. Now listing directory contents, we'll see, we have file here, correct? Yeah, if you do ls, it will show you the content. And if you do ls hyphen l, then it will show you permissions owner size. If you do ls hyphen a, it will show you the hidden files. And then if you do ls-lh, it will show you readable, human readable sizes. That's all. And then if I switch this, for suppose, let me go here. For suppose if I have any script or something, like instead of going and the script is in my current path, then I can use cd dot and forward slash script sh, then the script will run. And cd dot we discussed parent directory, this is path, this is root directory. And we also seen some scenarios. Let me see if I can, then what scenarios we have. Command use, okay, let's see. Now we perform so many commands here. Now if you want to verify those commands, you can just run history. It will show you all the commands. Instead of going up, you can run history. It will show you what all we did. History command will give our steps which we performed in our previous time. Now what we'll do, we perform cd as well, we change the directory as well. And then yeah, let me show you this. Now I mean, if I want to, let me list the content here, ls. Now you can see documents and world.txt file. Now if I want to go to documents, I don't need to enter documents and each word. I can just click D and tab. It will give me the details and it will take me to the path. Similar way, now if I do cd, let's do ls. What we have, Rocky and student. Now cd, I'll press enter and then use tab. It will give me the student. Under that, what we have document. Then enter, it will take us to the path. That's one thing. Then did I miss any? These are the most used things we used. We have seen how to create a file, how to create a directory, how to move file. I mean, how to move from one directory to another directory, how to print directory. Did I miss anything apart from that? Let's recap. We have seen what is file system, and we have seen this. We have verified the hierarchical structure as well. Then we have seen what all it contains. Later we have seen difference between user bin, navigate, absolute path we have seen, relative path we have seen, and commands also we have seen. Examples you can try. I'll make the git repo available for you. Cool. That's all from my end today. Hope you understood the session. If you have any question, please feel free to drop a comment. I'll try to respond. That's all from my end. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye. Good night.